Hi everyone, it's Killshot from 99 Gaming's The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 13 reaction video. I want to thank all of you for being here. This is the video that we would have ran last night, but I did want to get this going and just give you my reactions to it. We'll do a full recap tomorrow night. I just went back over the episode once again, just a couple of details, and I have to tell you, wow, what an amazing episode. This had all the darkness, it was almost like it was a zombie flick again. I thought it was amazing. One of the better episodes I've seen. Anyone that is hating on The Walking Dead, this second half has definitely had all of the essentials that we've been calling the writers out. I know that there are some issues they're going to have to bail themselves out of, but we're going to get into that. I got just some awesome stuff that I want to talk about tonight. So thank you for all being here. Appreciate you kind of working with me with my schedule the last few days. Also, we got Valar super chatting early on. Wants to say what's up to Killshot, Steph, Emmy, Kells, Sweet Tommy, sponsors and patrons. Thank you so much, Valar, and everybody else getting in the house here. So I'm just going to ask you guys right now, before I get into a little bit of my reaction video. This isn't going to be the full recap. Those of you that know, this is just, we're going to pick a few bullet points. But from a scale of 1 to 10, those of you in the live stream right now and those of you that are watching the playback, give me a number. You got to give me a number. I'm going to give it an 11. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Even with the spoilers being out there, so many good things. Walker Tobin McLeod gives it an 8. I'm expecting to see some high numbers here. Maggie says 9. Zay only coming in at 7. 10, 10, 9s. Get out of here. Who gave that a 1? Above ground. Really? A 1? Are you kidding me? Okay, there we go. A lot of high numbers here. So let's get this thing going with we'll just start right at the very beginning. Morgan and Gavin. There were so many stories that were happening simultaneously, and it wasn't repetitive to me. So we do see Morgan's kind of last acts, and because we know from the preview for episode 14, Rick and Morgan are going to go take care of business. So Morgan sees what Henry is becoming. He's seeing the flashbacks and the hallucinations of Gavin, and I think Morgan's got one more push before he goes to fear. So he's just got to get all that out of his system, and then it's just going to get him to a point where he realizes that this Henry thing might have been able to be handled a little bit differently. So we see Ezekiel step in with Henry. We see Carol step in with Henry. And ultimately, I know all of you guys are upset with Henry right now, but there's nothing wrong with that from my perspective, from a writing perspective. I think the story with Henry was very good. I don't like what happened, but it goes to show that when these kids are forced into situations where they have to become adults, they're going to do stupid things. And there's nothing crazy about that. That Henry is right at that age. I thought the writers did a great job of letting him kill Gavin, but he still has not been fully quenched. But yet the adults do what adults do a lot of times. They turn their back on Henry, and they don't give him credit for being smart enough to break the saviors out. I mean, he's going there looking for revenge. He thinks that as long as he has that gun, he can overpower people, and then he realizes that just Jared can just bowl him over. Exactly, Maggie. He wasn't going to listen. So I know a lot of people that they don't want this to happen the way it happened, but I got to tell you, I think it's good writing. Well, Tommy, he could have from outside the gate, but it just goes to show you that Henry he feels like as long as he's got that gun, he's invincible. And I think we've all seen kids like this. We've seen that youthful arrogance come out. Pete D with the super chat. Thank you so much, Pete D. Appreciate that. And also Chris Rainig. Nobody was watching the prisoners. It's a good point. They could have climbed over the fence. Yeah, that part of it, yeah. Okay, you could probably nitpick a little bit of that. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Should have been somebody else on guard duty besides Henry. Yeah, I can definitely see that point of view, but I think that's something, it's a minor detail that's out there. The bigger picture, I think, is the character development and what's going on with Ezekiel, Carol, and Henry and Morgan. Pretty important stuff there. And then simultaneously, we hate Jared once again. I mean, they are giving us so much reason to hate Jared. You just want him to pull the trigger. And he hides behind the one guy. So you know Jared is going to die an evil, evil death. There's been so many chances that this sucker could have been gone. And even when all the Tobin walkers are just ripping people apart, what did Jared say? Music to my ears. That's a sick, sick dude. I cannot wait. And I hope it's next week. I think it's going to be next week, and I think Morgan's going to be the one to finish him off. I cannot wait for Jared to die. Deidre Perkins, it absolutely was. So who enjoyed the darkness of the walkers and the whole Tobin? I got to tell you, when Tobin like that, I was like, this is old school Walking Dead again. That made me feel like it was not just about the people versus people. I loved Tobin turning. I loved the fact that you're afraid of walkers again, that one person can turn into 15 people that quickly. Now, I'm going to let a little air out of the balloon. I'm going to go Chris Reinig mode on you guys because, I like the part with Henry and Chris said nobody was watching. Well, similarly to that, Chris, there's some awful deep sleepers. Not one of those people woke up. That I had a little problem with that. Like, here's Tobin, and there's like 15 people in the middle of the floor, and I would have like, I don't know. I think at this day and age, I'd be a very light sleeper. And the other thing, Tobin can eat. You have that friend that you go and you order a Big Mac and they order a lot. Tobin ate a lot of people. A lot of people. That's the other part. You'd think he'd fill up on the first one. I'm like, man, he's like going person to person. Yeah, Tobin can put down some Hilltoppers. That's for sure. He's not the one that you want to turn first. He was. But regardless, like all the small details there pale in comparison to me of how they just made me feel that this was walkers again. So I love what they did with the tainted weapons because I think it was the only way the writers could really infiltrate. The groups are so good at building the walls and keeping everybody out, but the tainted weapons really, really did the job there. Let's see. We'll get to a couple super chats here. I am rolling right along. I'm pretty excited for this episode. Scott, I missed your question. You're going to have to type it again for me. There's a lot of chat streaming up. So, oh, here we go. Scott wants to know if I'm annoyed about the terrorist situation. Looks uncertain. So, yeah, I do want to react to the terrorist situation. Once again, those of you tuning in, this is the reaction video. This is usually the video that I do late Sunday night, so this is not going to be a full recap. We're going to go another probably 10-15 minutes, just pick a couple highlights. We got a couple hundred people in the stream. If you guys could all do me a favor, just show a little bit of love for the 999 Army and slap that like button. Oh, Scott, maybe you're trying to go with untainted. The weapon's not tainted. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I wasn't sure if it was uncertain or what we were trying to get across there. Okay, so I think Dwight's weapons are not tainted. And Dwight did save Tara. Daryl's not seeing it that way. Daryl's just being hard-headed right now. That frustrates me sometime about him. Tara is forgiving Dwight, and I think it's a little bit of that cliffhanger. We don't know if the arrow is tainted. Tara's going to turn. We don't know if Rick's cut on his face, if Rick's going to turn. I'm going to say, obviously, I'm going to say Rick, no. Tara, you know, we talked about this last night. If she doesn't turn next week, she ain't dying. I cannot see her living through 14 and dying in 16. If she makes it next week, she's with us. So, just going to have to wait for that one. You know what? I wouldn't bet either way. I don't think that Dwight would taint the weapon just to shoot her to try to save her. I don't think she's turning, and I don't think she's leaving. Can't argue with it. On the subject of realism, and this is where sometimes you just have to, so my initial reaction, anytime I see Rick in group with a gun, I'm like, they can't shoot for crap. I mean, they miss so much. You know, they had high ground, they had lights, and I just thought they could have killed them all. But, you know, sometimes I sort of have to just ignore the important details and just sit back and be entertained. And that's what this was about. This was just silly entertainment. That's what made it so fun. Maggie's quest for revenge is getting awfully, awfully costly. We found out exactly what is driving her right now. She said, I want Negan, and I wanted my dead husband's grave to be the last thing that he saw. Maggie did all of this to get Negan to come up there so she could kill him at Glenn's grave. Very, very dark. Huge mistake. People are a resource, and Maggie is just, she's careless. She's absolutely careless. If she would have put that same level of thought into a different way of killing Negan away from Hilltop, maybe they'd have the numbers. All right, I'm going to hit a couple comments here. Daryl seems like it's going to be harder to win him over. But I think we finally found the moment of what is, you know what, we'll go into a deep dive of this later on in the week. How do you feel about Daryl and Dwight's relationship right now, everybody? And what do you think? I think there was a turning point. I've been predicting that there's going to be mutual respect there, and I think it happened. Daryl's still talking out loud, but he's going to start seeing Dwight in a whole different way very shortly. Absolutely not, Lindsay. You know what, Lindsay? I'm not even going to let you win this one over. The writers wrote an incredible episode. This was amazing. I'm not even going to get sidetracked with that noise tonight. Absolutely amazing episode. There's gonna always be a detail here or there that we can pick apart, but I'm beyond it because this was one of the best ones that I'd seen. So Melinda Kettler wants to know how so. One thing the writers do is they have to lead you. They got to string you along just a little bit. But we finally have the reason why Daryl can forgive Dwight. So number one, Tara has already forgiven him. So we saw the dialogue of how Tara talked about being with the governor. She brought up Merle. You know, Daryl wanted to give a little bit of pushback. So Daryl's still like, you know, he made his choice. He made his choice. And then he tried to kill you. So that's the apex. That is the highest resentment that Daryl's going to get. So now that Tara has been shot and Daryl knows that all these are tainted weapons, When Daryl finds out that Dwight shot Tara, because Daryl was watching it, he saw Simon, and he did a double take, like maybe he wanted to give Dwight a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, and he saw Dwight shoot her. So when he finds out that Dwight's arrow was not tainted, Dwight is completely off the hook with everybody. Tara is over it. She doesn't want to kill him. Daryl still has resentment, and the only thing that Daryl needs is that validation that Dwight saved her life. Not only once, but twice. So I think that's that moment that I've been waiting for the future story between Dwight and Daryl. And I've had a strong feeling the two of them would be kind of like renegades and go out and get some stuff done. But tonight, last night's episode really nailed that home for me. You know, you couple that with the fact that Daryl knows Dwight's motivation was Sherry. They did have the conversation out in the woods. Yeah, there's no way that's going to be a bad relationship in the future. A couple more things we'll touch on. Rick walked away from the graves. Maggie's having a moment of reflection. She's having a little bit of doubt when she saw all the graves. At that point, it became real, like, wow, is it worth it? Rick walked away, and at the moment, you might have wondered, like, why did Rick walk away? Was he frustrated? No, he's going to get Morgan. He's going to get the most ruthless killer out there, and that's going to be his tag team. And, you know, as we saw in the preview, Rick said him and Morgan are going to finish it. And do you think that Rick feels like he's living on borrowed time? He's got the cut. So it seems like Rick wants to extinguish as many people as possible before he turns. Now, we don't think Rick's going to turn, but Rick doesn't know that. You can kind of see it on his face a little bit. There were 2 opportunities to clean that wound. Michonne brought Rick a turnip, and she wanted to clean the wound, and he said, let me finish this. And then Sadiq wanted to clean the wound, and Sadiq wanted to start talking, and Rick wasn't in the mood to hear it, and Rick walked away. Dave Darnell says they aren't killing Rick and Carl in the same season. No. But I do think that could be our cliffhanger. And you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with Rick sitting under the tree, reflecting. Wonder if he's going to make it. Wouldn't that also validate a time skip? Well, Zay, I'm not saying whether it's a weak or a strong cliffhanger. I got a feeling there's going to be a time skip. And I think seeing Rick alive would validate a time skip. I think seeing Maggie have her baby would validate that as well. And it could just be one of those questions where you're always going to wonder, did he get cut? Is Rick the cure? Is Rick immune? All right, I'm going to go through my notes here, just see if there's a couple more things that we wanted to react to. Hippo says a cure would be a bad idea. Well, finding people that don't turn would be interesting, because I think it'd kind of make you wonder, like, well, why? What is it? What is it that makes some people different than other people? Who knows? I mean, who knows the way this thing is going to go down? Well, Drama King, the time skip can be a little bit dicey. So, yes, they could choose to let Morgan leave and not time skip The Walking Dead and keep them on the same timeline, or they could, depending on how much they want to catch up Fear the Walking Dead, they could have Morgan go back in real time and then time skip The Walking Dead. Who knows? That's kind of what I feel is going to happen. I think you're just going to... I feel like there's going to be a time skip in Walking Dead, and they're always going to be playing just a little bit of catch-up. It doesn't have to be as extreme as it is right now. All right, one or two more comments here. I'm going to get a couple more reactions to my notes. The whole Maggie thing, seeing her dark side really blew me away. I think we had a whole lot of gray area at the beginning of the season, though, and then we had a lot of distrust. Now that the war is really winding down, we see where everybody stands. Maggie's motivate. I mean, and what I mean by that is we see everyone's motivation. Maggie's been quiet, but she's motivated by revenge. I mean, when she said that's why she put him in the box, that's why she sent him to piss Negan off, to get him there, I'm like, oh, that's pretty dark, Maggie. Now we're starting to see the final stages of the Daryl, Dwight, Tara issue that they're running into. That's starting to make a little bit more sense. We're starting to see how Carol, Ezekiel, Morgan, how that's going to play out. Morgan's leaving. Morgan leaves. What's going to happen with Carol? Carol got to say goodbye to Tobin. So we could see that Carol-Ezekiel thing start to kick off a little bit. It is starting to sort of make a little bit more sense, though. And Rick said multiple times that he was trying to kill Negan. So, Chris Salisbury says, kills. Who would you suggest is a better leader of the Hilltop? Just curious. You know, Jesus wouldn't be a terrible leader. I think Jesus would be a good leader, but he's just not somebody that you want to take into war. I think he would do the right thing for people. I think he could be a diplomat. I could see him leading the Hilltop. Just not sure. I just don't like... let me sort of get control of my thoughts here, because so many people just, they like the characters that they like. So let me ask the group this question. You know, Chosen One saying Maggie all the way. A lot of people are saying Maggie. Is it fair that Maggie sacrificed all those people in a failed attempt to try to get revenge on Negan? So for a moment, I want you to take your fanboy or fangirl hats off. Because we're fans, and it seems like these characters can do so much wrong that it's okay. You know, Maggie just helped get 20 people killed. Now, that may have happened anyway. Sebastian Carpio says, life isn't fair. Well, life isn't fair, but it doesn't mean that there wasn't a better way to get to Negan. Justin Barrett says, it's the cost of war. But Justin, we're not talking about war. We're talking about Maggie's personal revenge. And we're not even talking about killing Negan. We're talking about killing Negan and having your husband's grave as the last thing that he sees. That doesn't seem like the smartest thing to do. So I don't know. The writers want me to feel the way I feel right now. They want me to sort of question Maggie's leadership. So I think I'm right on point. I'm a puppet. You know, we're doing what they want. So I do think that they want us to see a little bit of that dark side of Maggie. She's drifting. And I need you guys to maybe see a little bit of that, because some people are just so... Jeff, what do you disagree with specifically? And it's okay to disagree. And I'll tell you why I think the writers are pushing us in, well, how I know they're pushing us in that direction is because there were multiple times where you could see her reflecting on it. And then the fact that she blatantly came out and said, you know, did I make the right choice by doing this? And this is why I killed that person. This is why I did this. I'm not just talking about the person she put in the box. I'm talking about the reason she put that person in a box and the letters, you know, writing on the box. That this is a warning sign. Don't mess with me. Not because she thought she was going to win, but because she wanted to get revenge on Negan, period. Epic Vid says she does whatever what needs to be done. Well, let's see. All those people that got eaten by Tobin in the middle of the floor, and all the wives and the husbands of those people and all the kids and those people might disagree with the fan club, with the Maggie fan club. I'm not saying leading a group is easy. Here's what I'm saying, okay? If I was leading the Hilltop, no. All right, I got 3 or 4 of you. We just need to kind of get this out there, okay? Or if you were leading the Hilltop, all the people that love Maggie, put yourself in a leadership role. Or me. If I'm leading the Hilltop, I'm going to find a way to get to Negan like Rick's plan, first of all, okay? Was better. Second of all, let's just say I'm leading the Hilltop and I did what Maggie did, and I shot somebody, put them in a box, and I want to, I want them to come to Hilltop. I'm going to kill them before they come to my husband's grave. See, this is her problem. You know, when we talked last night and said, why didn't they ambush them? Why didn't they catch them at the road? There's one road up to Hilltop. Why didn't they flatten their tires? I mean, they came up at night. Why didn't they have people out in the bushes? Because she didn't want people out in the bushes. She wanted the people to come up so she could kill Negan. She didn't want to kill Negan at the bottom of the hill and drag him up there in his last breath. She wanted to kill him right at Glenn's grave so he could see it. Terrible move, Maggie. Terrible. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying the writers made a mistake. What I'm saying is they want you to question Maggie's state of mind. They want you to question her dark side. It's intentional. Her stupid moves, because they were stupid moves. She could have, Maggie is smart enough, she could have gotten a group together and said, this is the best way to go about this. And the words came out of her mouth. She said it exactly like that. So you knew exactly she felt it was a mistake. Like, is it worth it? Well, she lost 20 people. Not worth it. That's my reaction. So let me get to a couple super chats up here. I missed a couple because I'm really passionate about this. This is raw reaction time. Jason, the mixologist, says, Kills, Maggie may have gotten 20 people killed, but she also gained some loyal followers. Saviors, what do you think? She did. So, Jason, and that's the part that I'll give you guys credit for. Look, I'm not a Maggie hater. I give her credit. She's smart. If she would have led that way, she did get them rallied up. But she lost some people in the process. And I think her motivation is going to be questioned by some people. She did win over a few people. I don't disagree with that at all. I just would have rather all those people not died in the process. And hey, they got some saviors. And I thought the ambush was okay. I just thought it was a little bit late. Right? Simon for Negan trade. Maybe. Possibly. I think yes. Yeah, you know, and there's always little things we can pick apart. Chris Rainig, Super Chat, says, you're trying to stir us up. She's justified for her thoughts. Should watch Glenn die and others dying wasn't her fault. It was for freedom. Yeah, but those other lives aren't worth Glenn's life. A life is worth a life, Chris. You can't say, I'm going to give 20 innocent lives for my husband or my wife's life. I mean, we're not talking about Savior's life. We're talking about people who were farmers, who were building the Hilltop. I don't buy that. If Maggie wants to give her own life for Glenn's life, yeah, your own life, that's fine. If you have people fighting for you, then you have a right to be the leader, but don't handicap them. Don't make their situation worse. And as a leader, you have a responsibility to protect your people. And I just don't think she did a good job of protecting her people. That's what I'm saying. I think she could have done a better job. If she didn't want to lure Negan up there, I think she could have done a better job. No, not the point. I'm not gonna harp on this too long because there's 3 or 4 people that just you're missing the context of what I'm saying. Not saying that she doesn't have a right to get her private, her sergeants, her lieutenants to fight. What I'm saying is, and that she's justified in going after Negan. She's not justified in taunting for her personal vendetta. That's not what leadership is about. Leadership is winning the war. Leadership, if you lose your people and you have a strategic battle plan, that's one thing. But if you lose your people and you put them in a worse situation because you want to lure Negan 15 more feet or 20 more feet, then you are flawed as a leader. That's my point. Her judgment is off. That's the point. It's not who Maggie is as a leader. I respect Maggie as a leader. I felt like she cared about those people, but I also feel like she's reflecting and realizing that she just lost a whole bunch of innocent people. And Chris, you want to know how I know that? Because it's exactly what she said. It was her words. So if she's saying it, then you don't need to defend her because she realizes it. Does that make sense? You don't need to justify somebody who's confessing that they just made a mistake when it's obvious that they did. That's kind of the point to it. And I think you're going to see that play out in a real sinister way. The reason I'm harping on this, and I'll get to that in 1 second, Maggie has, Pisa says Maggie has what it takes to get things done. She does have what it takes. Unfortunately, she didn't use all of her ability in order to make that happen to get the best possible outcome. The outcome should have been to win the war. That's your goal. To win the war and to lose as few people as possible. Her outcome, her goal in that was not to win the war and lose as few people as possible. Her goal was to win the war, meanwhile, antagonize Negan and also hold his face right at my husband's grave while I cut his throat. You know what? A grenade will work. A bullet will work. Anything will work. The way Rick went about him would have worked. Killing him a mile away from Hilltop would have worked. All of those things would have worked, and I would have rather seen her put her energy into that rather than get them all up to the gates and let's see what happens. That's my point. Splitting hairs, but I don't have a problem with the writers. Now, let me clarify all of that too, because I got to give you both sides. As a moderator, my goal is to try to see both sides of the argument. From a writing perspective, I think it's brilliant. I agree. So Emmy says Maggie has tunnel vision right now. That's what I want the audience, that's what I want you guys to see, and that's what I want the people watching the playback. I want you to see Maggie's tunnel vision. I don't want you to give her the gold star and say, you led this as good as you possibly can, because I don't feel like the writers want us to do that. I think they want us to see a little bit of her dark side coming out. They want us to question a little bit of her leadership. Maybe not all of it, but start to plant the seed. Is she a good leader, or is she driven by revenge? That's kind of what I want you to think about, because that was my reaction. When I saw that, it wasn't just as a fan like, you did a good job, you did a good job. It's, you did a good, oh, no, you didn't just get all those people killed. It's, I got to be on the fence with that. That's kind of, go back and watch it again. We'll talk about it all during the week. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, we'll dissect it a little bit, but Mambo 55, exactly. Her next move will be big. I think now we've got enough ammunition to second guess Maggie. That's what I want you guys to do. I want you to look at her and maybe second guess her, because I think we're putting her a little bit too much on a pedestal. Now we can see that it's just not taking care of the Hilltop. We thought Maggie was up there to take care of these people at the Hilltop. Now we start to realize that maybe she wasn't. Maybe there was a little bit more to her wanting to become leader or going into that role than we initially thought. Now she's got a few pawns. Not bad. If that's who Maggie is, that's who Maggie is. If her lifelong motivation could be to vindicate Glenn. And I'm okay with that. Believe me, I am perfectly fine with that. And I would love to see her do it in like a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? That maybe she got this gig. You know, sometimes you go to work at Dairy Queen so you can get free ice cream. That's all I'm trying to tell you guys. Not a bad job. You get some blizzards, you get some, yeah, all that stuff. The perks. It's the perks of the job. That's why Maggie got it. She is. I do think that as well too, Epic Vids. I think she's dealing with a lot. Emotionally, she's going through a lot. Not just because of her pregnancy, but because of the hatred that she has. I mean, this is a high, look, you can add three things in it. Medically, Maggie is dealing with some stuff. Emotionally, with Glenn, she's dealing with some stuff. And then you throw a war on top of that, and then you throw the pressure of leadership. There's four things that are challenging things for anybody to deal with. All right. With that, that is my reaction. Thank you, everybody. I said, you know, when I said ice cream and Dairy Queen, I think it just triggered a whole bunch of people are like, we got to get off the stream. It's dessert time. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. When these episodes come out like this, and I got to do reactions to good episodes, I get fired up. When I get fired up, it's because I'm passionate about it and I liked it. This, to me, was one of the best episodes. I thought it had all the elements that I like in The Walking Dead. It had the zombie flick type of thing, the darkness with that. It had me looking at the characters, like, what's Henry doing? Okay, oh man, that kid, what did he get himself into? It got me looking at Morgan with the flashbacks, the cliffhanger with Rick, Tara gravitating toward forgiveness, and Dwight still on the fence. And it's got me questioning that leadership, like we did with Ezekiel, like we did. You know, here's the last thing I'm going to say. We've questioned everybody's leadership so far except Maggie's. We questioned Ezekiel leading his people into slaughter, his arrogance, his overconfidence, and then going into a shell. We've questioned Rick, some of his decision-making. We've definitely questioned Negan and how he goes about things. It's fair for them to finally get around and question, what is Maggie doing? So everybody at this point, we sort of had some second thoughts, at least me so far. All right, everybody. Appreciate all of you guys being here. This is The Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 13, Reaction. Be here tomorrow night at 9:30. We're going to do a complete episode recap. We're going to dig down a little bit further. Also, we're back in full effect. We will stream. We did tonight. We will do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe even Friday this week. We'll see how that goes. There's going to be a lot of streams, so stay tuned. I got to make up for last week. And, of course, on Sunday, we'll do Walking Dead Junkies at 12, the countdown at 8, and then next week, the reaction video will be after Talking Dead, because I got a feeling it's going to be a great, great episode. So I want to say thank you to all the people that did the Super Chats tonight. Appreciate all of you guys, your questions. Hopefully, we got a chance to answer and definitely freeze frame and highlight that. Of course, all my Patreons, the sponsors as well. You guys probably seen some of the custom emojis, a little different name, a badge, all of the above. And all the 999 Army, everybody's in the stream. If you guys get a chance, slap that like button and give me a quick 999. I'm going to do shout outs right now. If this is you watching the playback, this is closing credits. And if you're still in the stream, I just want to say what's up to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. To Eric Johnson, Ellis Roy, Maria Pavada, B Loves 999, Groove 172, Angel Lewis, Justin Burnett, my moderators, Bree, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kel, Zelda Faz, thank you so much. Texas Girl 38, thank you so much. I appreciate it's always a great chat when all of you are here. Awesome group. Deidre Perkins, Chosen 186, Andrew Reffett, the Hippo's in the house. What's up? Cammy. Thank you for being here, Cammy. Sharon Brown. Evan Almighty 86, Carol Brothers Payette, Kelly Golan Zinnier, Lindsay Luke, Jewel Weed, thank you so much. E Beach, Jason the Mixologist, Daly, Samantha Coombs, have a good night. Walani, OG Gamer, what's up? Chris Rainig, thanks so much. Appreciate you being here. Love that passion. Chris will make a point like really passionate like me, so thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate that. Ron Burgundy in the house, Pat Sanzone. Maggie, thank you. Maboon, good to see you again. It's been a little while. Terry Jones. Who else we got? Bumblebee Brown, Hawk, Rial, thank you so much. Mambo 55, a little bit of Mambo. Scott Kernan, thank you so much, Scott. Walker Tobin McLeod, Russell Kelly, thank you, Russ. Pieces 200368, thank you for being here. Joey Price. What's up, Joey Price?
Okay, I found this on the web for his 20,000.
Yep, we got Siri talking to me. Somebody's name sounded like you know who. I gotta silence her. Whose name just sounded like Siri because she's talking to me now. That was crazy. That was scary mode there. That was almost as creepy as the zombies last night. Liz Burnett, thanks for being here. Yeah, that didn't interrupt my shout-outs at all. The Cat Nat, Joni Tucker. Epic Vids 8, what's going on? Petey Wheatstraw in the house, what's up? Petey Bombs. Becca Boland, thank you. Becca. Chris Salisbury. Casey F., thanks for being here. Thank you, Beth Burgett. Appreciate you being here. You guys have a great night. I'm going to miss some shout-outs. Just a ton of people here tonight. David Darnell. Thank you, David. All right, everybody. I missed a ton of shout-outs, but you know what? Actually, hang on. It looks like a couple of people might be lagging. Shannon Brown, thanks for being here. I'm going to give another 60 seconds. As many shout-outs we can possibly get. If I haven't hit you yet, then give me a quick 909. Gina Crockett, Melinda Kettler, Silly Sarah, thank you so much, Sarah. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, you're a little late, about 47 minutes late. OG Gamer's like, don't go, don't go. Heidi Badoon, thanks for being here. Michelle M. Graylin, Trev Heath, Debbie Martin, thank you for being here. I'm going to get through these shout-outs. I really want some ice cream now. I don't even eat ice cream, but I don't know. I said it, and people started talking about it. Now it's just one of those things. It's not going to go away until I go get like a ice cream sandwich or something. Kim Ames, thanks for being here. Buffy Batcave, Rubelo's channel, what's up? Mama Missy, thank you, Mama Missy. What's up, Paris? 1189 Paris in the house. All right, I think we are winding down. All right, everybody. Let's call it a night. Appreciate everybody being here. If I missed you in a shout-out, I sincerely apologize. Much love to everybody here. When this video goes live, leave a lot of comments. And leave comments on other people's comments. We love that activity. If you're not a member of the 999 Walking Dead Army, get over and check us out there as well, too. Talk to you soon. Peace.